We'd like to solve by graphing. We have two separate equations. The very first step is to graph both of the lines. And then the second step, if the lines you graph intersect, then the point of intersection is your solution. If the lines are parallel, then your answer is no solution. And if you end up graphing the exact same line twice, then you have infinitely many solutions. Let's start by graphing this purple line. So in graphing this purple line, I'm going to set up a t-chart. I need to pick a number, plug it in the equation, and find the answer. So let me start by substituting in 0 into negative 3x minus 4. So this becomes negative 3, and instead of x, that will be 0, minus 4. Simplifying, let's follow PEMDAS, so multiplication, negative 3 multiplied by 0 is 0. Bring down my minus 4 there, and 0 minus 4 is negative 4. So when I substitute in 0, I get out negative 4. We need one more point to graph this line. I already selected 0, so this time I'm going to select 1. Let's substitute 1 into our equation. So this becomes negative 3 times 1 minus 4. So let me put in 1. Simplify, negative 3 multiplied by 1 is negative 3. Bring down that minus 4, and negative 3 minus 4 is negative 7. So I plugged in 1, and we got out negative 7. Let's go ahead and graph that line. So if I plot the point 0, negative 4, I'm going to go right or left 0, and then down 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's my first point. I plugged in 1, I got out negative 7. So right 1, down 7, and there's my second point. Now that I have 2 points, I can connect those lines, and I have graphed my first line. Let's go ahead and graph this green line. Once again, setting up a t-chart. I can pick any number I want. I'm going to select 0, so selecting 0, going into negative x minus 2. That becomes negative, a set of parentheses where the x used to be, minus 2. Then let's replace that x with 0. A negative 0 is really just 0. Bring down the minus 2. And 0 minus 2 is negative 2. So when I plug in 0, I get out negative 2. Plot one more point. I've already picked 0, so how about picking 1? Substituting 1 into negative x minus 2, I'm going to have negative 1 minus 2. So a negative 1 is just that. It is negative 1, then minus 2. Negative 1 minus 2 is negative 3. So when I substituted 1, I got out negative 3. Let's plot those points. So 0 comma negative 2 means move right or left 0, then down 2. And then plotting 1 comma negative 3, I'm going to go right 1, down 3. So there's that point. And then let's draw a line through those points. My options one more time, because we're not going to do one of each. After you graph the lines, if the two lines intersect, then where those 2 points come together is your solution. In this particular problem, notice that the purple line and the green line come together right there, which is back 1, down 1. So my answer is negative 1, negative 1. Which is because the lines intersect, so the point where they cross is my answer. But in other examples or other problems, if the two lines that you graph end up being parallel, then you have no solution, no points in common. And the third scenario is you graph a line and then the other line graphs right on top of it. In other words, they're the same line. They're going to have all their points in common, which means infinitely many solutions.